Hello and welcome to Module 1 of Competency and Performance Management. In this module, we will focus on competencies, what they are, how they relate to human resources functions, how they are developed, and how they can be applied in recruitment and selection processes. We will also explore the role HR plays in supporting managers, supervisors, and team leaders in building and using competencies effectively. By the end of this module, you should have a clear understanding of the connection between HR and competencies, the strategic role competencies play in aligning people with organizational values and goals, different methods of developing competencies, how to design and use competency frameworks in recruitment and selection, the role of competencies in induction, orientation, and personal development. Let's begin. 1. The links between HR and competencies. Competencies are the measurable skills, behaviors, and attributes that enable an individual to perform effectively in a specific role or across different roles within an organization. They represent not just what people know, but how they apply their knowledge, how they behave in different situations, and how they adapt to challenges. Human resources, HR, plays a central role in identifying, defining, and promoting competencies. This is because HR's mission is to ensure the organization has the right people, in the right roles, with the right skills, both now and in the future. 1.1 What support should managers, team leaders, and supervisors get from HR? While managers and supervisors are directly responsible for day-to-day team performance, HR provides the tools, frameworks, and guidance needed to develop and measure competencies. This support can take many forms. Competency frameworks. HR can design and maintain an up-to-date competency framework that clearly outlines the technical, behavioral, and leadership skills required for each role. Training and development programs. HR should create programs to close competency gaps, whether through formal training, workshops, mentoring, or on-the-job learning. Assessment tools. HR can provide psychometric tests, 360-degree feedback tools, and competency-based interview guides to help managers make informed recruitment and promotion decisions. Performance management support. HR helps integrate competencies into appraisal systems, so managers can assess not just results, but the manner in which those results are achieved. Real-world example. In a multinational telecommunications company, HR supported team leaders by developing a mobile app containing the organization's competency framework. This allowed managers to quickly reference competency definitions during one-on-one coaching sessions, making discussions more focused and measurable. 2. Values, strategy, and HR. Competencies do not exist in a vacuum. They are deeply connected to the organization's core values and long-term strategy. For example, if an organization values innovation, its competency framework will emphasize creativity, problem-solving, and adaptability. HR serves as the bridge between the organization's vision and the people who bring it to life. Competencies are a way of translating strategy into day-to-day behaviors. Illustration. Let's imagine a health tech company whose strategy is to become a market leader in AI-driven healthcare diagnostics. The company's HR department might design a competency framework that includes technical competency, proficiency in AI development and medical data analytics, behavioral competency, collaboration across multidisciplinary teams, leadership competency, driving innovation through cross-sector partnerships. When hiring, developing, or promoting employees, HR ensures these competencies are a priority. 3. Different methods of developing a competency. Developing a competency is more than teaching a skill, it's about cultivating the ability to apply knowledge effectively in real-world situations. Common methods include formal training programs, workshops, courses, and certifications that build knowledge and skills. On-the-job learning, assigning challenging projects that stretch employees' capabilities. Mentorship and coaching, pairing less experienced employees with experts for knowledge transfer. Job rotation, allowing employees to experience different functions to broaden their skill set. Simulations and role-playing, particularly useful for leadership and customer service competencies. Self-directed learning, encouraging employees to access online courses, industry literature, and professional communities. Example. A large hotel chain wanted to improve customer service competencies across its branches. Instead of just sending staff to a single workshop, HR implemented a blended approach, combining classroom learning, role-playing customer interactions, peer feedback, and follow-up coaching over several months. The result was a measurable increase in guest satisfaction scores. 4. An HR management framework based on competencies. A competency-based HR framework integrates competencies into every stage of the employee lifecycle, including recruitment and selection, performance management, learning and development, career pathing, succession planning. This creates consistency across HR processes, ensuring that the same criteria are used to hire, develop, evaluate, and promote employees. Case example. An engineering firm facing high turnover redesigned its HR processes around a competency framework. Every job description was rewritten to include competency requirements. Performance reviews incorporated competency ratings, and training plans were linked to competency gaps. Over 2 years, retention improved by 15% and performance consistency increased across teams. 5. Technical, behavioral, and leadership competencies. Competencies can be grouped into 3 main categories. Technical competencies, job-specific skills, such as programming for a software engineer or accounting for a finance officer. Behavioral competencies, personal attributes and interpersonal skills, such as communication, teamwork, and adaptability. Leadership competencies, skills needed to inspire, guide, and influence others, such as strategic thinking, decision-making, and change management. Example. In a marketing agency, technical competency might be proficiency in SEO analytics tools. Behavioral competency might be ability to collaborate with creative and technical teams. 6. Competencies and recruitment. Competency-based recruitment ensures candidates are assessed not just on their qualifications, but on the skills and behaviors necessary for success in the role. 6.1 Competency design, definitions, and indicators. When designing a competency framework for recruitment, each competency should include definition, a clear explanation of what the competency means in the organizational context. Positive indicators, behaviors and actions that demonstrate mastery of the competency. Negative indicators, behaviors that signal a lack of the competency. Example. For the competency, customer focus. Positive indicators, actively listens to customer concerns, proposes solutions, follows up promptly. Negative indicators, ignores feedback, responds defensively, fails to meet agreed timelines. 6.2 Recruitment and selection process. Competency-based recruitment typically involves structured interviews, using competency-based questions, such as, tell me about a time you had to resolve a conflict between team members. Assessment centers, combining tests, group exercises, and simulations to observe competencies in action. Work sample test, asking candidates to complete tasks similar to those in the job. Example. A bank recruiting relationship managers uses an assessment center that includes role-playing client meetings, group problem-solving tasks, and numerical reasoning tests, all designed to assess communication, negotiation, and analytical skills. 6.3 Adapting a competency framework for use in recruitment. When adapting an existing framework for recruitment purposes, HR might select only the most critical competencies for initial screening. Adjust definitions to reflect entry-level versus senior-level expectations. Incorporate behavioral examples into interview guides. 6.4 The use of assessment centers in recruitment. Assessment centers are particularly effective for roles requiring complex decision-making, leadership, or high interpersonal interaction. They provide a richer picture of a candidate's capabilities than interviews alone. Example. A manufacturing company hiring production supervisors used a 2-day assessment center including group planning exercises, in-tray exercises, prioritizing and responding to simulated emails, problem-solving discussions. This approach reduced new hire turnover by 20% compared to traditional interviews. 7. Induction, orientation, and personal development. Once a candidate is hired, the induction and orientation process is an opportunity to reinforce competencies from day one. This can include introducing the competency framework as part of onboarding materials, setting early development goals linked to competencies, pairing new hires with mentors to model desired behaviors, Personal development plans should align with competency gaps identified during recruitment and early performance reviews. Closing thoughts for Module 1. We've covered a lot of ground in this first module, from the connection between HR and competencies, through to how competencies are designed, measured, and applied in recruitment and onboarding. In Module 2, we will shift focus to performance management, exploring how competencies influence goal setting, performance tracking, coaching, appraisal, and linking pay to performance.